The truth always comes out. It's only a matter of time. With the Liver King, it took 1.5 years. And with me, due to all of the internet detectives out there nowadays, it only took 2 or 3 days. So whoever pieced it together first and posted it on Reddit, you're obviously a fan. You're part of the Vigorous crew. I guess I owe you a drink. Yes, that was indeed my old questionnaire. And yes, I am the guy that shared those private emails with Derek for more plates, more dates. After more compelling evidence started to surface that the Liver King was indeed using performance-enhancing drugs. I don't think it comes to a surprise to anybody in the fitness community, but there were plenty of people out there who believed the lie up until the documentary was released. Hypothetical question for you. If somebody signs up for coaching and you have to refund them after 2 or 3 weeks of miscommunication and a ton of red flags, does that really count as coaching? I felt very conflicted about this entire situation for the last 1.5 years, but after I saw the apology video and the statement by Paul Saladino, I felt horrible. I should have released this information months ago, the first time this guy started to claim natural publicly. If you want to know why, I broke my own moral code and went against the cardinal rule of online coaching to help expose the lies. Stick around, I'll explain everything in this video. I gave Derek permission to use these emails in a redacted form to help Brian, aka the Liver King, finally come clean and end the lies dead in their tracks, which to a certain extent he did. He admitted to experimenting and taking the performance-enhancing drugs at the time. He filled out the questionnaire, and then he patched one lie with another lie, saying that he's currently under doctor-supervised testosterone replacement therapy. Take it from me. Nobody else on this planet looks like that on TRT just by itself. And when you look at the timeline of when he started getting popular, now he looks better. Now he looks leaner. Now he looks fuller. So if he already admitted to IGF-1 LR3 CJC 1295 with ipamorelin, ibutamoren, omnitrope, testosterone cypionate, decadurabolin, and winstrol 1.5 years ago, what is he using now? And who is guiding him currently? And now looking back on it, I honestly think that he wasn't truthful and transparent on the questionnaire either. He just gave me enough information to help him fix his IGF-1 levels, but his blood work results weren't very representative of the cycle that he presented to me, not regarding the use of anabolic androgenic steroids. So while he at the time said he was on a cruise dose of testosterone cypionate, how many blasts or how many actual cycles he did previously, I don't know. We didn't really get that far in our coaching collaboration because it only lasted 2 or 3 weeks. And how many cycles and blasts he did afterwards, I'm not entirely sure either. What I do know is that physique is not very representative of a testosterone replacement therapy dose, which is medically accepted. Now, it does make sense, though, that Paul Saladino didn't know what was going on. I mean, why would you go to somebody else to interpret your blood work results and help you with your performance-enhancing drug stack when your business partner and your good long-term friend doesn't know what you're doing with your body? So let's rewind the clock a little bit and explain exactly what happened 1.5 years ago. Brian contacted me for coaching. He wanted to sign up for an entire year. But at that time, I was slowly trying to phase out my coaching services so I could focus more of my time on this YouTube channel. I told him I wanted to do a consultation first so we could have a feel for each other, see what his goals were, see if I could fix anything during the consultation and maybe not accept him. But since he was so driven, since he was financially secure and very eager to get started, basically the clientele that I like to work with, I decided to take him on for 6 months, a shorter period of time than he proposed. But usually within 6 months, it's enough to really feel each other out and see if you want to continue the coach-client relationship. I sent him the coaching questionnaire. He filled it out all by himself. And when I got it back, I started getting concerned for his health. The diet he was on, the performance-enhancing drug protocol he was taking, and the blood work results left a lot of room for improvement. But I felt confident that with time, I could improve his current state of health and lead him towards his goals. So I started working on his nutritional program, which contains the supplements that he was currently taking, the performance-enhancing drugs, and the overall daily schedule. This is a Excel sheet that I use for all of my clients. It contains all of the micronutrients as well as the amino acids, the carbohydrate breakdown, and the fatty acids. It's very extensive, all of the minerals and vitamins that all the food sources contain. Let's just say that everything that I know about nutrition, he wasn't really doing properly. A lot of simple sugars, a lot of saturated fat, a lot of fat in general, very high retinol vitamin A intake. So everything he was currently doing at the time 1.5 years ago, I put into an Excel sheet and presented it to him with a list of recommendations as a starting point. Now, that took a little while to compose. Again, at the time, my coaching services were slowly being phased out. I was quite busy. I guess he was very busy as well because we had a lot of miscommunication and the coach-client relationship only ended up lasting 2 to 3 weeks. I asked him to do additional health screening going forward. He told me he felt fine. That's a huge red flag for me. I've heard this 100 times before from competitive bodybuilders. They're very reluctant to really get their health in order, knowing that this was going to turn into a headache and wanting to phase out the coaching services anyway. I decided to refund him his money. I told him we were not going to be a good match and I never heard from him again. Now looking back on it, what he wanted me to do is be his drug guy secretly. Thus, I would have been complicit in this lie all along. And if I knew what was going to happen, what the Liver King was going to turn into, man, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. At one point or another, when he started claiming natural, I would have dropped him as a client anyway and refunded him at that point in time. If I knew what he was going to turn into, I would have never sent him the questionnaire. So for the last 1.5 years, I've been sitting on the sideline, biting my lip, keeping this information private, watching the lie get worse and worse and worse and turn into a lie of its own. And I'm very sorry that there were so many people out there that actually believed that the Liver King was drug-free and that you could follow these tenets ending up with a body like his. But that's simply not the case. If you want to look like that, you'll have to take some performance-enhancing drug. There's no testosterone replacement therapy that is going to make you look like this. A heavy cycle for the large majority of the people is required, even if you have great genetics. If you want to have realistic expectations of what a diet like that, a carnivore diet, can turn your physique into, look at Paul Saladino instead. He's quite lanky, but he's thin, he's lean, he has a good physique in my opinion. He posts his blood work frequently, and based on his blood work results, I believe him to be drug-free. Now, if you were to train for bodybuilding or fitness specifically, I think he'd be more muscular than he is now, but he is physically active. So if you want to go with a carnivore diet, follow Paul Saladino instead. I'm sure he's heartbroken by this news. I truly feel bad for the guy, unless he's covering his ass, but I honestly don't think so. I think he wasn't really in the know, but to be fair, he could have pressed him a lot harder, especially considering that he's friends with him and that they're business partners for the last couple of years. Now, for the guys out there that think they can follow a cycle like this and end up like the Liver King, I hate to shatter your dreams, but it's not going to happen. Following a diet like that, ending up like the Liver King, it's not going to happen. If anything, combining this stack of performance-enhancing drugs with that diet is going to worsen your health. And before I forget, whoever's working with the Liver King currently, coaching him, reviewing his blood work results, giving him performance-enhancing drug advice, you've been complicit the entire time because you know he wasn't natural, just like I knew, but I wasn't working with him and I refunded him. You know exactly what he was taking, and while he was lying on all of these podcasts, lying to his best friend and business partner, and who knows whoever else he's been lying to, you've been complicit the entire time. Now you can come forward and share a statement of your own. Yes, it's going to be highly uncomfortable, just like it's uncomfortable for me. It might be career suicide. You're going to get a ton of hate. Everybody in the fitness industry is going to have an opinion of your behavior. But ultimately, it's the right thing to do. And one more thing, if this was all planned out, which at this point wouldn't really surprise me. I mean, there's a whole media team behind the Liver King. Those emails that he sent to me, those emails that he sent to Derek and one of his coworkers or employees sent to Derek, if this was all planned meticulously so he could come clean and then open up a testosterone replacement therapy or hormone replacement therapy clinic, man, I wouldn't know what to say. I'll leave it here. Have a nice day.